Hare Krishna. Here's dinner time again. And is it time for TV?
No.
No, it's time for Krishna Conscious book. Alright. Today we read the book The Will of God. And the full name of the book is Not a Blade of Grass Moves Without the Will of God. That's interesting. Will of God is so powerful that not even a blade of grass moves without will of God. So let's see what the story is. This book is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The text is by Gandhari Devi Dasi. Illustrations are by Ramesh. Layout and concepts are by Vijaya Govinda Das. All rights are reserved by Sri Vaikunta Enterprises at Chennai. Not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. Learn it from the wise minister. Once upon a time...
Children's story book.
Children's story book. Once upon a time, there lived a king who ruled wisely with his trusted minister by his side. The king was kind and just, but he was a little short-tempered. Short-tempered. What is short-tempered?
Angry man.
Yes, one who gets easily angry. His minister, that's his minister, was wise, patient, and an ardent believer of God and His ways. What is ardent?
Sincere.
Sincere, yes. On one hand, there was a minister who believed that it was God who made everything happen, while on the other hand, there was a king who thought that he was responsible for everything, that he made everything happen. But despite these differences, the two were the best of friends. One day, the king decided to go into the forest to hunt wild beasts so that his citizens were protected from any danger from them. A small group of his men and his minister accompanied him. So the king and the minister, they're going into the forest. While they were out hunting, the king proudly charged through the thicket on his horse. But a large cobra slithered in front of the horse, spitting poison from his fangs. The frightened horse kicked violently, hurtling the king through the air. Ooh, there's the cobra. And there's the horse, frightened, its legs up.
Mama.
The king crashed to the ground beside the snake, and it promptly sank his fangs into the king's finger, then slithered back into the undergrowth. There's the snake biting the king's finger. Ouch, that's gonna hurt. Now, the king realized that unless his finger was quickly removed, the poison would travel through his body, reach his heart and kill him. Because those days, they did not have any antidotes or anti-snake serum. They did not have that. So if a poisonous snake bites, then this poison would quickly travel through the body and would sometimes be fatal, depending on how poisonous the snake was. Without hesitating, he unsheathed his sharp sword and chopped off his own finger. What is unsheath? It's removing the sword from its sheath. So there is the sheath of the sword. That is a sheath of the sword.
Case.
And now, yes, it's a case, carrying case. And now The sword is outside the sheath. So he unsheathed his sword and cut his finger right there.
There.
His minister bandaged the king's hands and tried to pacify him with wise words. Take this simply as a mercy of the Lord. Accept it as part of his plan. The minister is trying to soothe the king. The king, shaken and upset, did not appreciate the minister's view. Be quiet, he snapped. But the minister continued to speak of the Lord's mercy. This enraged the king so much that he ordered his men, take this foolish minister back to the city and cast him in the dungeon. What is enraged?
Very angry.
Very angry. And what is the dungeon?
A dark place.
Dark jail, yes. Dark place. Determined not to change his hunting plan for the day, the king, his hand neatly bandaged, continued alone through the forest searching for the wild beasts. There's a butterfly there. I don't see any wild beasts, but he's hunting for the wild beasts. There's some birds. And the king is marching on. And look at the bandage, neatly done. Oh, there is a wild beast. Yes. There is a wild beast. A short while later, he was ambushed by a gang of bandits. They captured and bound him. Their leader, grinning broadly, spoke in a gruff voice, "This is your lucky day. I am going to sacrifice you to the goddess Kali. It is not every day that she enjoys royal blood. Kali Ma Shakti De." The king, on the other hand, considered himself most unlucky. Bound with ropes, he had no way of saving himself from the bloody death on Kali's altar. There's the king, bound with ropes. Pointing to the king, the leader ordered his men, "Undress him, wash and clean him." Now, this is something they do before a sacrifice, in case you're wondering why they would undress the king. It's what they do before they sacrifice somebody. As the dacoit stripped him, one cried out, "Look, there's a finger missing." Ouch, finger is missing. Inspecting the king's hand, the leader of the dacoits was disappointed. "We cannot possibly offer an incomplete human to Kali," he grunted. "Release him immediately, you fools, and find somebody else." Relieved to be freed so suddenly, the king mounted his horse and sped back to the city. Going straight to the dungeons, he ordered the release of his minister. The king apologized to him, and embracing him, he said, "By the mercy of the Lord, I lost a finger, and as a result, I had my life spared." Spared. What is spared?
Saved.
Saved, yes. After narrating his bizarre and frightening experience to his minister, the king paused thoughtfully. "I am still a little puzzled. If everything that happens is the mercy of the Lord, what was the purpose of you being thrown in the dungeon?" The king contemplating why that happened. With a knowing twinkle in his eye, the minister replied, "If you hadn't ordered me to be thrown in the dungeon, I would have been with you when you were captured by the bandits. As I had no body parts missing, Kali worshippers would have undoubtedly used me as a human sacrifice." Both the king and the minister laughed loudly, tears streaming down their faces, glad to be alive. They agreed that certainly not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord.
Thank God and the king.
This is a series of children books. If you are interested in this, you can contact us at 98803 05444. That is 98803 05444. Enjoy Krishna conscious dinner.